If you are one of those people who still cannot wrap your head around the idea of everyone is you pushed out, maybe this will help you feel a little bit better. It is ignorant to think that everyone is you pushed out is not true. Newsflash, no one has free will in your reality. And it is not coming from a place of control or manipulation. It is coming from a change in you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Gigi, and I talk mostly about the law of assumption. We have a very juicy topic today. Everyone is you pushed out. If you want to use the law of assumption to your advantage, it's very important to understand that you are the only source of anything that happens in your reality. And that radical responsibility will set you free. Remember the law of assumption. What you assume to be true as a core belief must prove true in your reality. And again, this is spiritual law. So why would you not use something that is a fail-proof law, like the law of gravity? Why would you not use that to your advantage? We inherently have a bias simply by existing. And that bias can be used to our advantage, or it can hold us back and sabotage us. Absolutely no human being on this planet has a completely unbiased, objective perspective. If you can fully understand everyone is you pushed out, your life will become so much easier. Use this as a general rule. Yes, there will be exceptions to the rule. As with anything, there are some exceptions to everyone is you pushed out, in my opinion. Actually, this is the perfect chance for me to remind you, everything I say here is my personal opinion and experience with the law of assumption. So take what resonates, leave the rest. I don't personally believe the person who's being a jerk to you at the gas station is always a complete direct result of you. And I also don't believe that traumatic experiences, really bad experiences, should be something that we take the blame for and start trying to dissect, oh my gosh, how did I create this? For every really horrible, tragic thing that happened in our life. I think that's too heavy of a burden to carry. Everyone is you pushed out really serves me from the perspective that basically we are all like cell phone towers, and we're sending out signals constantly, whether unconscious or conscious. And I actually learned this from Sammy Ingram. Shout out to Sammy. Go subscribe to her channel right now if you are not subscribed to her. So every single person in our experience, we are sending out a signal to them. Positive, negative, or neutral. And when it's neutral, we're leaving it up to chance, and whatever happens, we're going to react to it, right? When it's negative, the negative result is going to be what we get. If we assume that someone is going to be really difficult or in a horrible mood, and we go into that situation sending out that thought transmission signal, then that person is going to unconsciously respond to that. And I have found some exceptions to the rule. I've said that. But that's just the way life is. And oftentimes we will have a subconscious core belief. That's where I think people get confused. They think, well, I am in love with this person, but they just broke up with me. How is that me creating that? Well, on a subconscious, deep level, you probably have some core beliefs that you need to unravel and dismantle about unworthiness, or always expecting someone like your partner to reject you or not be with you. But I'm sending them so much love. They don't love me back. I go above and beyond for them. Underneath that, there's probably something else brewing underneath the surface. Get to the root of it. There are a ton of different techniques and modalities that you can use to address that. You can do self-concept work, affirmation, scripting, visualization. You have so much more influence over your reality than you give yourself credit for. Absolutely no one has free will that is more powerful than your own free will in your sphere of consciousness. You decide which interactions are allowed to happen in your reality and which you don't want to happen in your reality. How people treat you, how people are not allowed to treat you. You are in control of all of that. And it all comes from your perception. Neville Goddard says, and I'm paraphrasing, I do not ask people to change. I do not compel people to change. I only change people within myself. And this makes so much sense just from a common sense perspective. It's not, oh, well, people are the way they are. No, people are the way you are. Who you are being is what decides how they show up in your reality. We are here on this planet to interact. We are social creatures. It is ignorant to think that everyone is you pushed out is not true. It has to be true because we're all responding to each other. We're all sending out these signals and bouncing off of each other based on the signals that we are sending out. People are transmitting their thoughts on an unconscious level all the time. If you are one of those people who still cannot wrap your head around the idea of everyone is you pushed out, maybe this will help you feel a little bit better. I know when I first heard of everyone is you pushed out, one of my first thoughts was, well, I don't want to manipulate anyone. You are always impacting others and others are always impacting you. You don't want to look at things from the perspective of manipulation. It's just the way life works though. If you want to get a job, someone has to give you the job, right? So is that you manipulating the manager to give you the job? If you do your absolute best and have this really magnetic personality that allows you to get the job, did you just manipulate the company to give you the job? It's all one big game of manipulation. No, that is not a helpful perspective at all. It just boggles my mind that people are put off by the idea of everyone is you pushed out. It has to be true. Why do we underestimate our power as human beings? People will get an idea to do something and not know where that idea came from. It could have come from someone setting an intention. This is why prayer works. When you use this for good, you are unstoppable. Do not second guess the power of your intention, the power of your prayer, the power of your positive thought. And I'm talking about only using this for good. Use this only for good because when everyone is you pushed out, that means you're going to experience whatever you are sending it. And you want to experience good, right? And you want good for other people. You just want to be a good person. But this is amazing. This means that if someone's sick, you can deeply intend that that person is 100% well and hold that vision of them in your consciousness. Even if you say, you know what? I don't think I can influence specific people, but I want to manifest money. How do you think that money is going to get to you? It has to come from a person, from an institution like a bank, which has people working on it. You are setting intentions either consciously or unconsciously. If you're trying to manifest money, if you're trying to secure your dream job, the person hiring you has to get the idea to give you that job. You have to get the money from somewhere, and it's going to come through a person 99.9% of the time. If you're trying to get back together with someone and you're no longer together in a relationship, how is that manipulative to love someone so much that you want to get back together with them? You can be with who you want to be with, whatever specific person. You can be with your SP. No matter what, you can do that. Anything can happen in your life. Some people are in denial. You're not powerless to the people around you or the circumstances. It can be so useful when you feel like, wait, I determine how these people show up in my reality. You can change everything starting from changing it in your mind. Because when you change the way you look at things and people, the things and people around you change. Okay, when you understand the principle, everyone is you pushed out, you realize that you can create or uncreate or recreate any interaction, any relationship that you have in your life. And when you live by that radical responsibility, you are truly free because you're not falling into a powerless mentality of thinking that you're the victim and everything is just happening to you. You realize you really can make the best of every single scenario. And I do not mean accepting treatment that you do not deserve. And of course, I'm not referring to abusive situations or any kind of super traumatic thing like that. But generally speaking, using your common sense in your day-to-day life, let's say the top 10 people that you interact with are bouncing off of your perception of them. They are showing up based on how you perceive them. Take ownership of that perception. Go within and do a little bit of inner work to figure out where your perception is coming from, and then addressing that with affirmation, scripting, visualization, whatever technique you want. Suddenly you're in the driver's seat again, and you're not just letting life take the reins and reacting all the time. That is just not a fun experience. It's a very unpleasant experience to feel like you have no control over what happens in your life. And it's just not true. It's a lie that people will tell you to try to make you feel like you can't change your life and you can't live out your desires. You can live out your desires. The last thing I want to talk about is very important, so listen up. Your inner conversations matter. Do not have inner arguments. Do not prepare for the worst. When you know that a certain interaction has a pattern of being unfavorable, whether it's with your boss or your partner or whoever it is that you're having tension with, do not go into it preparing what you're going to say and the comeback that you're going to have. Think about how many times you've prepared for the worst when you're about to have an interaction with someone and things don't seem to be going your way, and you automatically start having an inner argument and preparing about what you want to say. Don't do that. Take the high road and start envisioning a mutually beneficial way that you guys can settle things and move forward. And you will notice that things start unfolding in a more amicable way. Here's a tangible technique before you go to bed. Pick one thing to start. Try to visualize an interaction going really well and being really positive with someone that you're currently experiencing difficulties with. Try to visualize every night. Pay attention to how long it takes for the interaction to change in your real 3D reality. People can change overnight if you pay attention to your inner conversations. Instead of preparing for the worst, you're preparing for the best. And I want you to see how those best case scenario conversations actually come to fruition. Let me give you another Neville Goddard quote that I'll paraphrase for you. Whether it takes 10 people or 10,000 people, they will move to confirm your assumption, because everyone is you pushed out. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below how you have found everyone is you pushed out playing out in your life. If this is brand new to you and you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Also, I would highly recommend that you watch the revision video that I made, which I'll have linked above, because inner conversations and realizing that everyone is us pushed out also has to do with revision and revising how we look at a situation that has occurred in order to experience a better outcome in the future. So if you really want to use every technique to your advantage, definitely check out that video. Welcome to the journey, fam. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.